Welcome to What in the Anime, your weekly anime podcast. Now, here's your hosts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody, to another week of What in the Anime, our weekly anime podcast. I'm here with Dustin. We're a little late this week. I'm in a little bit of pain. Dustin looks like he's fully awake, but
I sure am. Well, I'm fully awake, Tyler. No, I'm doing good. I finally got our AC fixed today.
That's why you look more awake. You don't look so sweaty in the video. So.
Yeah, I'm not dying. I'm not dying of heat exhaustion today.
I could only imagine being bald and seeing just the sweat drip off of your face.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, no, we're gonna be a little late on putting this out. Last couple of nights, some things kind of went and happened. I had softball last night. We tried to do another podcast where we tried doing like a Mario Party thing on Sunday night. That kind of went off the rails a little bit. So we'll probably redo that later. But hopefully we can kind of get that out because that was kind of fun. What we're trying to do is with Movie Night and the Boys, we got Zach and John. We're trying to put like a Mario Party system and trying to do kind of like almost like a listen along podcast with that, but also with the video, like a part 1 and a part 2. So it's really fun. We got a little bit of the way through and then something kind of happened. We got I know Zach kind of lagged out there for a little bit, and then John had a family matter he had to take care of. So we'll try to redo that maybe here in the next couple of weeks or find something else to do. I know we plan on doing here in the near future, which would be kind of cool, is doing like a Jeopardy style quiz with all 4 of us in it. So whether that's anime, whether that's I don't know, modern, just things that we can put down that maybe some of us will guess. I don't know, but I think that'd be kind of cool to get Jeopardy. We can make our own questions and have a host and stuff like that. So that's going to be kind of cool to go to. So, but other than that, do you kind of want to go for the agenda today?
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a fun day today. So first off, we got a bit of news. We got some news on Chainsaw Man manga, update on a Crunchyroll film that they're putting out into theaters across America, and then the biggest news, which comes into our topic 1, is Crunchyroll released their summer 2022 anime. So we got the lineup, and so our main subject today is going to be, like our first episode, we're going to do our draft picks. We're going to pick our animes that we will review in the future, and we'll be each picking, I think, only 3 this time a piece.
Yep.
And then if there's one that got a lot of hype, obviously we'll like probably slip that in as a review. But for the most part, summer, it's a little bit slower than spring and fall, I feel like, and winter. I feel like the summer animes there's not a ton of really crazy stuff. So
there's not really that hype title that sticks out. But thing that now that we can do our summer picks is now that our spring picks, all the seasons are kind of done or pretty much close to it from what I believe. So now we can start doing reviews and we can kind of actually start watching those as a full. So now if you go back to our episode 1, you can, hear what picks we had at that time, and now we can finally start either reviewing them or having each other watch them, whatever the hell we want to do. But now it's crazy how fast time flies when you're doing this kind of stuff, because it seems like every Sunday we're ready to do our podcast. It's like, oh, we gotta do a little bit of on Monday, and then you're like, all right, well, we just finished that one. Well, we already gotta start looking into our next week and what we're gonna do, and it makes actually the week go by a lot faster. Especially when you have a 25 episode anime like Steins Gate that you got to try to watch. And so it's, I don't know, it's nice, but man, the weeks are flying by with this podcast. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, they really are. And I mean, it's exciting. So I didn't think about the fact that these ones are going to start finishing because we're week 14 of the podcast. So a lot of those shows only go about 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I looked, we have 1 or 2 more shows that'll be finished this week or next. So we are going. We've already reviewed one. If you guys missed it, Tyler had the pick of Vampire in the Garden, and we did review that one. And that brings us to our updated review list. Oh, first off, we're going to be reviewing Steins Gate. Yeah. I almost forgot. We're going to review Steins Gate. But
well, other than reviewing Steins Gate, do you want to explain why we have an updated review list and what changed, and what show did you magically find that you were not attracted to?
So I heard that Devilman's Crybaby was a decent anime on Netflix. So I was like, sure, give it a shot, and I just threw it in. I am sorry, people. I do not do research before doing this, and I watched the first like episode and a half, and I can't do it. I cannot. It is borderline like hentai. Like it got graphic, and it's not even like nicely drawn graphic. It's just graphic and kind of obscene, and I don't think I could finish that show. So I made the call to drop it, and that's like the third show I think that I've like, oh yeah, we're gonna review this, and then I drop. So I am really sorry.
I was gonna say we're like week 14 and you have 5 strikes already. Like
I told Tyler he's gonna start picking, but luckily the spring shows are finishing up, so picking isn't that difficult right now.
Yeah, we won't have such randomness. Yeah, I don't know where you came out with that, and we had someone else tell us that it was a really good show and the manga, it stays true to the manga and stuff like that. But I haven't watched it yet because Dustin said it's just so graphic and so, hentai and like out of our kind of genre. That's not really what we get into. And so
we are not into the ecchi genre at all. I tricked Tyler into watching the first episode of Food Wars, and this show, Devilman Crybaby, makes Food Wars look soft.
Yeah. Hey, Food Wars has a cool story. If it
does, I like Food Wars
down.
if it simmered down on the foodgasms.
I mean, I might make some tacos for dinner. I might have a foodgasm then.
I think I was gonna do spaghetti and garlic bread. So
yeah, I'm gonna do that the shredded rotisserie chicken. Put it in the hard shells. Put it in the oven. I'm gonna do that. Oh, got it off of TikTok.
It looks so good.
It looks delicious. So.
So yeah. Anyway, to get into our reviews, Tyler picked the other two in here. We still got Child of Kamiari month. That's in 2 weeks, but next week we will be doing the highly rated spring anime of Spy Family. Have you started that at all?
No, I haven't, but I figured we might as well review it while it's hot. So.
Yep, and I am actually finished with the first 4 episodes, and I gotta say I love it already. So we got Spy Family, Child of Kamiari month, and then after that we have Skeleton Knight in Another World. So we actually have my number 1 pick from our spring anime selection as our next review. I'm really, really stoked about that.
Yeah, we have a nice couple of weeks. We have some new shows that we can get into, and it's kind of nice. We're not reviewing anything old, so there's no reason in the next 3 weeks you guys can't follow along. It's these look like they're pretty short animes. Nothing, not like you have to sacrifice an arm and leg to watch. So.
Yeah. Well, and so what I found out is Spy Family, they are wrapped up, and this is technically called Season 1, Part 1, and Part 2 isn't coming out until October. So we're going to review basically Season 1, Part 1. Skeleton Knight in Another World is done, and all of our other picks are only like 12, 13 episodes. The only one that's longer than that, which I'm not surprised, is Aowashi, which is the soccer anime that I think is replacing Haiku as the next sports anime.
Right. God, that's some pretty big shoes to fill.
It is, but honestly, I think you could do it. I'm like a good 10 episodes or so in, and I'm fully invested. I love that show already.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping I can stay a little dedicated to the animes in the next couple of weeks, because you get like the series finales of like Stranger Things and Kenobi, and we got that Hustle movie we got to watch. There's a lot of movies that are coming out, and like I haven't seen Doctor Strange yet. I want to go see Thor in theaters.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Thor in theaters. I just watched Doctor Strange last night.
So is it as bad rap as it's supposed to be, or is it all right?
I think honestly people hated on it because they were expecting too many like cameos or something out of it. Yeah, if you're not focused on like getting a ton of cameos, that movie was probably one of the better Marvel movies yet, and it is probably the biggest like departure from their typical like one-liners, goofy stuff. Like it's not really great for children. It is like straight up like borderline horror, and it's good.
It made a lot of money, didn't it?
Yeah, it did really good. Like in box office, it did really, really good.
Yeah, I'm trying to as we're here, I'm trying to look at how it did. I don't know. Last thing I see is it did like at least 400 million, but that could have been.
Oh, it made more than that.
I was gonna say I thought it was up in like the 800 million or something like that. But
yeah, it made good money. I know it beat out like the Batman and stuff like that. It made 950 million.
Okay, yeah. So
it was 900 domestic.
But when you get like Spider-Man No Way Home, you get the cameos in there, and then you get all the hype, I know Kenobi's not a movie, but you get, Hayden Christensen coming back as Anakin and Darth Vader, and you get all those like people that come back after 10, 15 years, and you get Doctor Strange going back to the normality of the movies. Yeah, you get, some characters in there, but I don't know. The problem is the first Doctor Strange I didn't really get into.
Okay.
I didn't really care too much about it. But I also was probably immature, thinking, oh, I need action. I need,
Well, if that was your issue with the first one, you will not have the issue in the second one. I'll tell you that much. It's like nothing but action.
So, I know that's kind of outside the
anime talk,
anime manga, but to kind of put that all into review here, you want to go into comics and stuff like that. Should we get into the news?
Heck yeah, let's go.
So with the start of the news, the reason that I kind of bring up the comics and like the manga and stuff like that is Chainsaw Man manga's second part launches on Shonen Jump. Basically just want to talk about like it's supposed to be nominated for an award. It's called the Eisner Award, which is top rated like
graphic novel award.
Yeah, graphic novel award. And if you look back at the winners that Dustin kind of showed me a little bit ago, all of them are pretty much comics. Like anything DC or Marvel or like there's a couple of like I saw like Scott Pilgrim won. So it's some off the wall comics, but they won the awards and Chainsaw is nominated for one of them. So like you don't get, from what we've looked in the list, you don't really get any manga that's a part of that at all.
No, so if this were to win an Eisner Award, like that's huge. That's a very big accomplishment, and with that, that's some big bragging rights. Because whenever you hear, for those of you who are into that kind of stuff, Vertigo, which is a DC imprint, has a comic called The Sandman, Neil Gaiman, and that's its biggest claim to fame. Is it was an Eisner Award-winning graphic novel, and they're making a Netflix series based off of it this later this fall, I believe. And that was like, whenever you hear The Sandman, they always mention it's Neil Gaiman's Eisner Award-winning graphic novel. That's how they always like introduce it. So it is very, very big, like street cred to be able to say, I won an Eisner Award for this material.
So I don't know if it's just me, but do you think a lot of people are hopping on the Chainsaw Man like bandwagon because a lot of other mangas were ending and this was like the newly aged one that started? Because like, I don't know, you get like Demon Slayer that ends, and that had the biggest hype train for manga I've ever seen. And then all of a sudden, here comes, the next big, Shonen Jump, a Shonen Jump kind of show, and it's Chainsaw Man, and it's just going off the rails. Like, it's so fun. I hear more about the manga than I do about it almost releasing for a TV show. So, is that just the hype behind it?
So I think some of it definitely is the hype around it, because when you get an announcement for a anime, a lot of people do go out and get the manga, or if they watch the first episode of an anime, a lot of times that boosts manga sales. But I think it's more than that, because with Demon Slayer ending, I mean, we still had Black Clover that was finishing up, Attack on Titan. Oh, Attack on Titan did finish, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm saying a lot of the mains ended.
Yeah, but you still have like My Hero going, you still have Jujutsu Kaisen going. Like, there are some other big names going on right now. So I don't think that takes away from it, but I do think that the manga sales probably got a really good boost based off the fact that they announced this was going to be an anime like a year ago.
Right. Well, there's always one anime every year that slips through the cracks and just becomes more popular. Like, it happens almost every year. You get Demon Slayer, Jujutsu, My Hero when it first came out I've never seen so much merchandise from an anime outside of My Hero. That is literally, maybe Dragon Ball, but that's just because of how long it's been on. But name an anime that you see more merchandise for than almost My Hero. Like, I see it in Walmart. I see it in all types of stores. I've seen stuff at gas stations. Like, it's really weird. So I don't know how much Chainsaw Man can really get positivity, have that merchandise, because of it looks more like a gorier kind of show. But
it better be, if it wants to stay true to the manga. It's got to be gory.
Yeah. So for the next kind of big part of news, what I'm seeing here is Crunchyroll will be distributing a One Piece Red film coming to theaters this fall. Now, I don't know what a One Piece film would do in theaters, because I feel like it is so popular, but I don't know how much money it actually brings in. I'm assuming a lot, especially in like Japan and stuff like that. But It's just basically it's based on the One Piece manga series. It'll debut in theaters later in the fall, for the 23rd anniversary of the One Piece saga. So,
Yeah, and from what I read, Red is actually Shanks's daughter. If you don't know my One Piece like Tyler doesn't, Shanks is like the pirate who inspired Luffy to become a pirate and gave him his straw hat.
okay, yeah, no, and it says it's going to be in theaters across, U.S., Canada, Australia, New Zealand, dubbed and subbed. So, um, I think that I honestly think it'd probably be pretty good more were for the worldwide version. I don't know exactly just for U.S. and stuff like that, but because like I said, we get select few theaters that actually produce these movies, that show these movies. So it's I'm really hoping Dragon Ball comes to ours. I'm pretty sure it will, but I mean, if
Well,
Jujutsu can come in,
yeah, and not only that, but the fact that when they do come to theaters, a lot of the times it's not even for like a full week. Like our
no,
theaters around us, it's like a weekend, maybe 1 week tops, and that's it.
yeah, yep, and they have to actually overcharge to bring those movies in. So they're usually like $3 or $4 more than what a normal movie is. So you're paying almost, paying almost. Movies are already, $9-10 just to go see, and then you want you're planning to spend almost $100 if you want food, drinks, and stuff like that. So to go to an anime movie, and I know that is a lot of other theaters, but maybe not in the big cities. But it's probably about $13 just for us to watch that movie, alone. So
Yep.
that's kind of cool to see everyone. That's the new age, is just a couple seasons of you get your manga and then your anime, and then you put out a big movie, and that looks like the wave that we're going with all of these animes. So
Yeah, we're
um
getting a lot of movies, and it's crazy just seeing how popular anime is getting and how many more movies are coming to theaters in America. Like growing up, I don't remember any ever coming to theaters. Like it was one of those deals
mhm.
where you waited for the DVD to go to a video store and you went and rented it.
Yeah. Oh God, we had a video one. I remember going to that all the time. But yeah, no, I'm just I have a feeling they're gonna come out with like a bigger, better Naruto movie here eventually. Maybe go back in the past, I don't know, or redo something, I don't know. But I feel like now that movies are kind of seem like the way to go for a lot of these animes, that they can do some kind of big blockbuster thing with that, because I feel like Naruto is probably one of the bigger franchises that should have had a movie that was actually better. I mean, yeah, you get the new Boruto movie that did pretty good, but that was before kind of like theaters. It's funny how theaters have came back after COVID, because everyone thought they were going to kind of be dead, and they are a little bit because you get all the streaming services. But I mean,
Yeah.
to
Um,
have animes to even think about going into theaters still tells you that like they're making their money.
well, and we just talked about earlier, Doctor Strange made 950 million after this is, after the pandemic. Like theaters
Hmm.
aren't going away still. People do still love and enjoy the experiences. I will say for me, I am at the point now where I would rather go to a theater that has that extra service. Like you can order like a burger and stuff and like get a drink
Oh,
so you can eat in a nice reclined theater
that's
seat.
we had to take a big drive to Colorado Springs, and there was a theater that we went to that literally you had a waiter and you just pressed your button, and it was so cool because I think I had like these queso nachos, and my son I had the strawberry shake that was just phenomenal. It was so good. It's like, man, you don't get this. We're right in the front row. It was a good movie. I think we went for Sonic 2, so that was really fun.
I love that movie too, so that's a good one.
Yeah, so and then like the next bit of news will kind of go into what our big segment of the day of the podcast is going to be, is our Crunchyroll summer 2022 anime lineup that Dustin mentioned. So um I believe there's a number of shows that are coming out. Some of them, like I said, we're not probably going to review. We're just kind of they have trailers for a lot of these, but we're gonna try to just kind of go off of what the title looks like and go from there. He gets 3 picks and I get three. Is there any that really stand out to you that like you're just like, man, I really want to see this, or you think this is gonna get the hype?
There are a few that I do think will get the hype. We have I just looked, about 30 new simulcast animes coming to Crunchyroll this summer. So there is a lot, but to me, a lot of these aren't as big name, I guess, in ways. Some of them are, but the ones that catch my eye for the most part is Black Summoner. I think that's going to be pretty good. Classroom of the Elite 2. There's a lot of hype around Classroom of the Elite. It's coming back for its second season. And then the rest of them are pretty out there because even the My Hero one, that's not even an actual series. But it's
No.
on their list. That's going to only be a 2 episode OVA.
Yeah, I think the biggest one I see is like Rent a Girlfriend season 2.
Yep.
I mean, you get a
Oh, the
Dr.
Devil.
Stone special.
The Devil's a part timer season 2 is coming as well, and that's definitely
Okay.
a popular one.
Yep, I see that. And so definitely looks like a lot of different genres that are coming out for the summer. So I wonder, I think winter is going to be kind of a big one, or fall, I guess. If fall looks like it's going to be kind of a big one with like My Hero and stuff coming out.
Yeah.
And then
That's also Spy Family Part 2 will be fall as well. So
well, it is,
fall was going to be good, I think.
do you know if Attack on Titan is winter? Is that going to be winter, or is that
Ooh.
going to be spring?
I'm not. I thought that was later this year, but I can't say for certain.
That's why I'd say winter, but it very well could just be. I don't know. It could. I feel like they got to do it soon. There's a lot of hype on it, and there's. I don't know.
I just looked it up. It'll air in early 2023, so it'll be a winter selection.
It'll be a winner. Okay, cool. So hopefully they don't have any issues with that, and we can finally get that done with. I'm still surprised they didn't go to the movie, but I mean, more power to us, I guess.
Yeah, gives us some more stuff to watch and more content for our show.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like maybe they'll probably do like a side story movie or something. You know, I feel like after this next season finale of Attack on Titan, people might get tired of Eren Yeager as the main protagonist. So
yeah, they might want to see a little bit from somebody else.
Yeah, there's a whole world. There's a lot they could do. Different generations that they can kind of go through and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I know they had a movie a while back that I don't think it ever hit theaters, but it was Levi back before Aaron and them came into the Scouts.
Yeah, so they got a lot of different options they could do. So I guess before we go off the rails on that, do you have your first pick? I'm just kind of go off of your picks. I literally haven't really seen much. And try to pick these with us. Like, try to watch these, and then we can review them together. So it'll be kind of fun to. It's just something new. You don't have to. It's no generic, same animes, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. We want to talk about other stuff. So to be able to review these, and then you guys know what we're talking about, I think is just more beneficial for our. It's beneficial for our podcast, but makes us feel like you guys are actually listening. So.
Right. Exactly. So. For my first one, I'm going to actually go right off the rails right at the start. And I'm going to go with an anime called Engage Kiss. So I went with this one. I watched the trailer, and at first I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. Like, it seemed a little odd. But what it's about is it's a demon hunter low on his luck hunts down monsters alongside a demon sidekick. So, like, they are poor. They won't take any jobs. And he's like, yeah, it'll pick up. And then the trailer switches gears, and you just see monsters and demons. And this chick at the beginning of the trailer who looks like this innocent little girl with pink hair turn into like a half demon, and they just start like destroying crap, and he's like pulling out guns. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's my style. I'm going with that. And so Engage Kiss is my number one pick.
Engage Kiss. Okay. So I'm actually going to go to a show that I'm gonna have to watch the first season of, but I'm gonna pick Shadow House. I think Shadow House looks kind of cool.
Okay.
I don't really know what it's about, but it's just Kate and Emilico encounter more ghosts in the Shadow House as they learn of something mysterious. So don't have too much on it, but I didn't know there was a first season, so I'm actually going to try to watch both of those and see what it is. It gives you that Promised Neverland feel, but maybe it's not even close to that. I don't know, but it literally you get the picture of it. It just looks like something that they would do.
Oh yeah, looking just at that art, it definitely has that feel to it. I'm curious. It says ghosts and stuff like that, so I'm really a sucker for like the supernatural stuff. So I think that could be a pretty good one.
Yeah. All right. What's their second pick, boyo?
My second pick, I am gonna go with one that I also haven't seen the first season of, and I'm gonna do Classroom of the Elite. I know it got a lot of hype the first season, and I don't know. I'm willing to check out the second one.
Classroom of Elite. Okay, I see that. Okay, yeah, I don't know too much about that one. There's a lot of these, man. I'm just kind of picking off what I can kind of read. Oh God, that one looks kind of cool. I think I'm going to go with oh, I had it. Now I don't know where it is.
He's
I think
lost it already.
I'm gonna steal your Black Summoner.
Oh, you're gonna steal Black Summoner? Okay. That one. Did you
Yeah.
watch the trailer for that one?
Nope, I'm gonna watch them all here probably when we're done.
Yeah, so that's another one where it's like that mystical fantasy deal where they're in like a different world. But what's cool
I
is
see that.
yeah, but all those people behind him in the picture, those are people that he gets to agree to let him summon into battle whenever he wishes. So like
Oh,
he
okay.
literally summons people to fight for him.
Nice. He's just a Pokemon master.
Exactly. With humans.
Yeah, I was gonna choose that because another one that looks like it's kind of in the same genre as that one that's called Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, but then with that title, I'm just a little worried. I'm gonna pick the wrong thing.
Yeah, with harem in the title and then on the picture it's some chick with giant jugs. It's like, yeah. That one could end up not what you're expecting.
Yeah, so I think those are my two. It's going to take me just a second to figure out what my third one's going to be. So,
all right. Yeah, I'll kind of talk then for a little bit. I'm looking. So, for those of you listening, I'll just kind of name a couple of weird ones. So, there's one called My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex. After breaking up, two students find themselves living together after their parents marry. So, that should be a funny, like, rom-com one. You got Lycoris Recoil, which that one I was curious about. When I first watched the trailer, it looks like it's just some girls working in a cafe, but they take odd jobs like babysitting and all this other stuff. And I was like, that might be okay. But looking at the art, I feel like the trailer's definitely leaving crap out because in the art, it's all like bright and sunny on the top, and then it cuts in the middle, and they're holding guns. And it's like, what jobs are you taking? Because like it looked like a wholesome trailer.
Yeah.
And then they got Rent a Girlfriend season 2. I know that one has some good hype around it. Orient's coming out. I don't know how to say this one, but I know it's popular. Is that RWBY?
Oh,
I've seen that quite a bit, and that's coming out. I don't know if that's a movie or a season.
It's just that it gets its first official anime, so.
Yeah, then like I said, Devil's a Part-Timer season 2. I've heard a lot of good stuff about that. Prince of Tennis season 2, that's coming out as well. But for my third pick,
yep. I got two in mind, so if you pick one, it's okay.
Okay, well, I don't think this one's probably going to be on yours. I watched the trailer for it and I kind of liked it. So my third pick is going to be The Girl from the Other Side.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Was it? Okay, so I watched the trailer for it, and the animation style reminded me a little of how Tower of God was. It's a little bit different. And it's about this like little girl, and somehow she accidentally travels to this like unknown world where it's a bunch of like basically shadow monsters and demons. And there's one shadow in particular that decides that he needs to protect her. Like he sees her as this light that needs protecting in this, world of basically monsters and demons.
Okay. Yeah, so there's two that I see here. I think I'm gonna go I'm gonna go with this one because the other one has a weird ass title. I'm gonna go with Obey Me. You didn't do that one, right?
No, I did not do that one.
Okay, so Obey Me is also a season. It's season 2, so I will probably have to watch the first one. It's only in sub, so
okay.
I think I'll choose that one.
I don't know. That one's season 2 too, so you're gonna have to watch first season for that one too.
That's fine. We got time. Well, the other one I was gonna pick. What it looks like it's called like Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. I just don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, that is like one of the weird names that I saw was that one, and I was like, what in the actual crap?
The synopsis looks it's different. You have Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, but the synopsis is a venture begins after a talking lizard appears saying that the world must be saved from an evil wizard. So like these guys are high as hell, or they made a really good anime because it looked like it had that Tower of God. It almost looks like a Sword Art Online kind of like illustration.
Artwork. Yep.
Yeah, artwork, and so that looks kind of good. But like to pick I don't want to pick like the Doctor Stone special episode because that's cheap. The
Mhm.
My Hero, OVAs. Don't really want to. Oh, that Orient looks kind of good, but I don't know if that's I don't know the synopsis for that one. It doesn't really draw me in. I'm not looking at Odd Taxi.
Yeah, I heard Odd Taxi's pretty good, but I didn't
I
want
heard
to
it's
choose
good,
that.
but I'm not big into the main characters being animals and stuff like that.
That's
I'm
not
not
your genre.
No, not really. And like I said, that harem, I'm gonna stay away from it just from that title. It could be really good. It looks like it has your generic Sasuke, blue exorcist, kind of black haired,
Hmm. Well, and
protagonist in there.
probably what we'll
But
do is I'm sure we'll watch like an episode or two of some of these other ones because we each only picked three. That's enough for 6 weeks worth of content.
yeah,
Which, I mean, that might get us decently far, but we're this is like our main ones. These are the ones we're gonna focus on that we're gonna prioritize as watching first. But there are some other ones that I'm interested. Like you said, that harem from Labyrinth in Another World. That one does sound
yeah,
interesting. I'm willing to give it the first episode a shot, and the the Biscuit Hammer.
yeah.
I'm willing to
See,
give it a shot, but I didn't want to
well,
make it my pick.
what we should have done is made it to where we pick one for each of each other's. I probably would have gave you the maid I hired recently as mysterious.
All right, fine. Yeah, let's do that. You
No,
can
no, no, I
no,
don't want
no.
to do
We're
that.
doing it now. You called it. We're doing
Um,
it. So that's mine. So I'm gonna give you. Oh man, I gotta make this like a good one, just because you did that. Odd Taxi. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to do that because I don't want to watch it
I
either.
I won't get through it. No.
uh, I will make you do. Ooh, I know which one. I know which one. Where did it go? Where did it go? My
Oh, if
stepmom's
you
daughter is my ex.
yeah, I knew that was coming. What does that one even look like? I gotta find that one.
It's literally looks like a rom
Oh yeah,
com.
I see it. I
Hey,
see it.
you
I
said
feel
you
like I
wanted
could
some
like it.
romance.
Yeah,
You liked your name and stuff. This could be in that
yeah,
alley.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, it doesn't. It looks. I'm gonna give it. All right. I don't. I can't really defend it, but I'm gonna try. So, and
Oh,
you give me one that's only in sub, so that's cool.
yeah, you're welcome. Um,
Yeah.
there is one I just now read the synopsis for, and that actually sounds pretty interesting. Smile of the Arstatoria, the animation. Follow the daily
Hmm.
lives of these Magic Academy students as they study magic and culture. Like that actually sounds pretty
Oh,
cool.
okay. Yeah, definitely. They're all female in the characters, or
Oh,
in
are
the
they? Oh, they are.
yeah. So I wonder how that's gonna be. Maybe some witches or something.
Right, very well. Could be. But yeah, there's definitely some weird ones. The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. That sounds weird.
Yeah. Anyways, none of you guys are gonna remember a lot of these titles. We'll back through them once we review them, and then we'll go from there. But that is kind of, I guess that is our picks. So I have Black Summoner. I have, I've already forgetting. I have Obey Me. I have Shadow House, and then apparently I have something about my stepmom is my ex's daughter. I don't
My new stepmom is my ex.
know.
I already forgot the name too. My stepmom's daughter is my ex. There we go.
Cool. So
And I
we
have Classroom of the Elite, Engage Kiss. What was the other one? The Girl from the Other Side, and then Tyler gave me the maid I hired recently is Mysterious, so that should be great.
Yeah. Yeah, she has those hentai eyes.
Yeah, if it starts getting a little raunchy, I'm not doing it.
Oh no. No,
But
no.
I'm watching the first couple episodes. I'll give it 2 episodes, and if it's not at least okay, yeah,
Yeah, you
if it.
got till like August to start watching that one because that's the end of July.
Oh, is it okay?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, July 22. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess when these come out, I'm gonna try to stay on them and start watching those weekly because I haven't been watching a lot of weekly animes. I
Mhm.
was doing Boruto, but I stopped. I think I haven't done that about 30 or 40 episodes, so I don't even know what they're doing right now. Um, but I'll start
Yeah,
looking at what these release days are. Yeah, a lot of them are beginning in July, so that'll be pretty fun. So
yeah, and I haven't been keeping up really with my weeklies, like my picks. Because I know I picked Ultraman and Pacific Rim. We did drop that. I do plan on finishing both of those at some point, and then just giving like a quick take before a review or something on what I thought if they're worth watching. But yeah, Aowashi, I'm behind. Spy Family, I fell behind. I can't even remember my other picks, but yeah, I got to go through and start watching those, and I think I'm going to do better on the summer ones on actually trying to watch them weekly because it's so much easier to catch up and keep up when you're
Mhm.
watching like a couple episodes a week of like your picks, and we only
Right.
got 3 or 4 picks. Like
Right.
that shouldn't be too hard to follow.
Right. So, yep, that was kind of our big part of this episode. I know we said we were going to get back to the 3v3s, and we'll start doing some other things, but we figured this anime lineup would probably take a lot of our time. We don't want to go. I think we've been doing like over an hour the last couple of weeks, so I think we're gonna try to keep it a little bit more shorter. So, we got a review. So we watched Steins Gate this week. It's been I've seen a lot of good things about it, so I've been kind of waiting to watch this. We busted out a 25 episode in a week. I did it, Dustin.
You did it barely,
I
but
did
you
it.
did it.
I
I,
did it.
I kept bugging him and asking him, and I think it was like what Thursday or Friday. You're like, yeah, I'm about to start.
Well, I had such a busy week, but I was like, I'm not doing anything this weekend. Like, I can have something to binge. So I binge watched a lot of it, I think, on Friday and Saturday, and I finished it, I think, early Sunday, or I can't remember, maybe even early Saturday. But there was one of the days I binge watched like all the episodes. So Steins Gate, kind of quick synopsis on this anime is the story about a time traveler and consequences of its misuse. So the protagonist is a man named Okabe Rentaru, a self-proclaimed mad scientist who goes by the name of Kiyoma. Like, he just kind of has his own little nicknames. It's kind of funny. He's about to attend a lecture from a man proclaiming to have discovered the secrets of time travel. Rentaru then challenges theorem by claiming a man named John Teeter has beaten him to it. He is taken away from the lecture by a strange girl named Kurisu, who asks him about a previous conversation they had a long time ago. But Rentaru has no idea who this girl is and leaves her, only to find out that shortly after his departure, she has been stabbed to death. He finds her in a closet. Perplexed by these recent events, Rentaru sends a message to a friend named Ataru concerning Kurisu's murder. As he clicks the send message button, he is unconsciously thrown into an alternate reality where several inconsistencies with his own memories, such as John Teeter, never appear in 2010, or there being a large satellite crash into the roof of a radio Kayakin. Dumbfounded by this experience, he begins to piece together a successful method of time travel. On completion, he begins to misuse this power by helping out friends with past dilemmas, not considering the weight of his actions, eventually leading to consequences so great he questions whether or not time travel is worth discovering at all. So this show, if you get through the first 10 or 12 episodes, because it is so confusing, because you don't realize you're going through these alternative timelines. Like, you kind of do, but you don't understand exactly what's taking place. There's so many different things that are happening, and you're just trying to figure out what's real and what's not. You get through that, it becomes a lot more simpler, at least in my eyes it did. I was able to get hooked a lot, probably the second half of this show more rather than the first. I think if I went back to the first, it'd make 10 times more sense. But I absolutely loved getting through this anime. It was such an easy watch for me. Because the fact, and I told Dustin this before, what they do with this anime is there's like 5 or 6 kind of main characters. Like, you get Okabe Rentaru is kind of like the main guy. But every character has their place. Every character is so special into making this time travel either successful or, something happens to them to where they basically are causing issues. So it's really cool to see them try to fix that issue or whatever they got to do. Another cool thing about this anime is a lot of the characters are main voice actors in dub anime. So you get a lot of cool. So you get like Suzaha or whatever. If you find out who she is, she does other animes. I'm pretty sure she's like Lucy and in Fairy Tail. She's Asuna in Sword Art. You get Okabe, which he's the main. I'm pretty sure he's the voice actor that does Erwin from Attack on Titan. He does Tenya Ida from My Hero. You get a character in there that is the voice actor Chris Sabat that does like all the All Mights and Vegetas and Piccolos and stuff like that. So you get a lot of cool famous voice actors in this anime, and it makes it a little bit easier because I always like recognizing those voices, and that's me. I'm able to recognize them like before I look it up because it's really cool. Because like there's a lot of times I'll just be sitting there with my eyes closed. I'll be like, "What anime am I watching?" And then I'm like, "Oh, it's not even like it's not even the same one." So it's kind of cool. But do you have anything you say kind of before getting into spoilers?
Yeah, so for me, I'd agree. First, like 10 episodes or so, I wasn't hooked. Honestly, like I was like, I don't know, like if I'm gonna get through this. I thought it was like really slow to me.
Yeah, you told me you're like, man, the first 10 like couple episodes have been pretty boring. And it's
Yeah,
not an action-packed show, but it's you got to listen.
yeah, and that might be part of my issues. I went into this not knowing anything, and all I knew was it had to deal with time travel. So I thought it was going to be kind of more like Doctor Who or some like crazy like time travel hijinks and stuff like that. And it is not that at all. So that threw me off, and it was harder for me to get into it because I just like didn't really care for the story at first. The second half, I definitely enjoyed a lot more than the first, and that's where my recommend for watching this would come from is like the second half is really good. The At first it's a little hard to get into, but rewatch appeal, I mean, would probably be a lot better now that we
Hmm.
know everything that transpires at the end of the final episode and how it
Right.
ties into the very start. Like it would be decent to probably come back, months later or a year later and
Hmm.
try to rewatch it. So
Yeah. So without trying to give too many spoilers for the show, I mean it's not like it's terribly old, but so there is a season after called Steins Gate Zero. It's also like 24, 25 episodes, and it like we said, it follows time travel. So I mean that's not really spoiler. So in reality you're gonna get multiple timelines. Well, some stuff happens where the Steins Gate Zero season follows one of those timelines that should have been the main timeline. Um, so it goes off that and kind of connects with the first season, and then they have a movie also. So that's something to kind of watch, just kind of maybe on our own. I don't think we'll review Steins Gate Zero, but maybe in an episode we could mention like, hey, this actually stays pretty true. Don't know what stays true to the manga. I don't know if this is just what, but it'd be kind of interesting to see how they maybe it ties in a little better. I think they did a good job wrapping up the show on what they needed to. I think um it has a lot of stuff you can't guess. It does keep you on your toes a little bit when you're watching it, especially when you're binge watching it. It's hard to kind of stop it. Um so it is one of those animes that once it does leave on a little bit of cliffhangers, and some things happen that you didn't expect, and people die, people come back, different things that you can kind of what would you think, in time travel, what can happen? You want money, you want relationships, you want to be the best in your business or whatever you want to do. People that time travel try to do that kind of stuff, so it kind of brings all aspects into the show.
yeah, for sure. Like I said, I did enjoy it, and it really made you question like kind of the ethics behind time traveling, like the what is morally acceptable in time travel. Like, is personal gain okay, or is fixing past mistakes okay? Because it can lead to consequences, and that's what this anime really delves into: is the consequences for changing something in your past.
It's literally the butterfly effect. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. So um I would definitely we both recommend it. So watch it, listen to this review, and then we're gonna go into our spoiler review. So you want to start off with that?
Yeah, so diving into spoilers, I did enjoy this. I don't think I enjoyed this nearly as much as Tyler. I don't know if it's just not my genre style, because like I never got into Doctor Who. I never got big into like Star Trek, and I've just recently started like getting more into Star Wars. I just started like Kenobi and stuff like that. So this kind of like I'm more of fantasy and not as much
Mhm.
sci-fi. I like stuff like in space, like Gundam and stuff like that, but this one was definitely not
You
my
you
typical.
you've always been off on the whole time travel idea.
I have
I I
Tyler.
know. Huh?
I was gonna bring up if you want, you could tell them about my whole Infinity War deal.
Yeah, I know your big complaint was like, oh my God, Marvel's gonna lead into time travel, and then it just fixes everything, and then it's you go into time travel, and it's a never ending of possibilities. You get Iron Man could die, Iron Man can come back, variants can come in, and it's just basically fan service after that point. So that's where time travel does have its drawbacks. But
Mm-hmm.
if you get in a show where it's literally based on like kind of fixing your past mistakes and figuring out what to do, it's kind of cool in this aspect. um Marvel, complete fan service.
Oh yeah, Marvel is complete fan service, and I will say I like this better than I liked Endgame. So I did enjoy Endgame. I didn't like mind the time travel, but I remember after Infinity War, the first thing I said to Tyler as we left the theaters, man, if they fix this as time travel, I'm gonna be pissed.
Hmm.
And that's exactly what ended up happening a year later. So I mean, I don't mind it, but that for one was definitely fan service. This one, obviously, it's not fan service. It's something new and it's its own thing. And I did like that it really explored more on the consequences of time travel. Like,
Hmm.
I think the first one they tried to do was win the lottery, and then they tried to do other things. Like they tried to save like the chick from the maid cafe. She did a
Hmm.
message back to her father to save his life. Well, in doing
Hmm.
so, half of the economy in Tokyo or whatever wasn't as good as it was when he had passed away. And so many
Right.
other things changed, friendships changed, all these things changed. So I did like that aspect. So I would say I like the time travel in this show more than I do in most media.
Yeah, and like I said, we're in our spoiler review now. So going into like it's funny how like so throughout the show they have like 5 texts that they send that they kind of regret that changed, basically what happens. And if you're watching this part, I mean, you get Mayuri becomes the almost the main character that is trying to be saved throughout this entire show. So she's this little girl that is just like beloved by Okabe. Like, they have Okabe is such a weird character because he is literally so mad scientist, and he says the most off the wall things. But the voice actor that portrays him, that does Tenya Ida and stuff like that, is perfect with it, because like you can just listen to his voice, and you can just he puts a lot of hard work into it. You can definitely tell. So they try to he finds out that all these texts changed the future into where instead of Kurisu dying, it's Mayuri. So Mayuri is dying every single time. And so what he doesn't understand is he just needs like he's just messing up the future every time he's letting someone change. The one that really is weird is the fact that they changed that boy into the girl, and then like vice versa, just because they told the mother to eat healthy. So
To
like
eat
that
more
didn't.
fruits and veggies. It was weird.
Yeah, yeah. So that didn't make too much sense. And then the funniest part of it was when he had to go on a date with her, but he kept calling her a guy. Like you don't know if she's a guy there, a girl there. Like she's a girl, but like it's just like it's kind of like mixed, and you're just like because like the timelines get so confusing because they don't tell you when they don't tell you when they jump back and forth. That's the one thing that this anime really doesn't do. It just kind of tells you the date, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
When you're watching it.
the only clue you get is like all the static, and he's like, and then it's like something changed.
Uh-huh.
That's all you know.
Yeah. So you get that sequence with him going on a date with her and whatnot. But after he's getting all these, sends all these texts back, he's just realizing it's not changing anything. And I think the coolest thing about this was everything he changed, even the characters that were dying or what was happening to them in the real timeline of where they were, they could still feel that presence of what was happening in those other worlds or those other timelines. And so like, and Okabe was the only one that thought he could remember all this, but they're just seeing like when they get into certain situations, they can actually like feel what happened. So like you get Miuri saying like, I'm just having these dreams of getting hit by cars and trains and getting stabbed, and you know it's she's retaining those memories. So it's just telling you all the consequences that time travel can do. Just you know it
Yeah,
just
and
is
how
something that's.
horrible would that be? Like to sit there and just constantly having flashes of getting killed.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, you just think you're kind of going crazy. And it just I don't know. It's funny how they make all of it happen just basically through like a telephone wave and a microwave, and like the TV's got to be on in the basement. That's the other part that I was a little confused on. They just kind of threw in Mr. Bronson or whatever as like the person that delivered this IBM, 5100, and he's just this, completely different person than you think he is. But then they don't really go back to it.
Yeah, and that was part of my issue was you had this like actual secret organization. I think the dude's flipping nuts half the time. And then it turns out it's real, and Mr. Brahm is a part of it, and like he's this big player that's manipulating multiple people and stuff like that. But it never goes in when they go back and change the past, you never like that's never
No.
addressed. Like it's just like, oh, we don't know he's a bad guy, so therefore it's fine now.
Yeah, and so maybe in Steins Gate Zero they do tie in some holes. Basically, Steins Gate Zero is so the timeline that it goes off of is where Kurusu is actually stays dead. So it goes off the main timeline. So it goes off the main timeline, and basically his future self, he kind of, I don't know if he becomes like creates his own organization or whatever he does. Like I said, we haven't watched it, but he meets new people, and eventually he is the video version that he talks about that the past saw, or that the other timeline saw.
In the last like 2 episodes there.
Yeah, so you get to see how his life turned where he never actually really met Kurusu, and you actually get to see a different version of him, and then how it ties in and how they meet up and how he was able to change. The only part that I don't really understand too much too is, that's the rewatching ability of this show and maybe researching, because we haven't done a lot of research on it, is what exactly the Steins Gate means, because they always talk about like, oh, if you do this, you can reach Steins Gate. And is that like, I guess I'm still a little confused on that part. Is that just like the true world? Is that like...
So from what I gathered, at first it started off as a thing that was in his own head. He made it up. And then later with the time travel, he kind of decided that I think it's when you do a shift that's greater than 1%, that is reaching Steins Gate. And also the fact that he can retain all of his memories from the previous timelines that he visits. So I think, or world lines, I guess is what they call them. So I think that's what Steins Gate maybe is, and maybe I need to research it as well. But that's also how I like what I had in my head.
Right. Also, maybe to where a different timeline can speak to another timeline was kind of the issue. I think could have been part of it too. Maybe, because he wasn't able to do that until he reached a Steins Gate where he saw that video, and so maybe that's part of it. And I got to look more into that. But did you have a favorite character? Did you have? I think the whole Itaru Hashida and his daughter that he hit on the whole show. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Honestly, I think his daughter was my favorite, Suzuha, because she was a BA. She came in like kicking butt, throwing elbows, throwing kicks. Like she had this like combat experience. Then you find out that she's actually this like time travel, like world line jumper and all this stuff. Like she played such a big role in the show. And at first I was like, I had a feeling she was from the future or something, because she kept having that issue with Kurusu. So like I definitely was like, you're probably from the future or something. Something's weird with you. But
and the whole reason they're trying to change this future is because it leads to World War III. Yeah. So at least in her eyes, that's why she's trying to change it. Just because Kurusu and her father, her father steals this theory that he has, and basically the world turns into which country can learn time travel and be the top dog.
Yep. So who can like monopolize it and make it like they're the only ones that have it first type of deal.
And in reality, that's what I like about this anime, is because that would actually happen. Like I feel like whatever country or whatever part of the world would obtain. I mean, it's the same thing of trying to be the first ones to land on the moon. Like you just want that recognition, and you want to be able to do, you want to be that country, and to be the first ones to do time travel, you could screw everybody over.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny when they, like you said, they try to go back and they try to win the lottery, not the big lottery. But they still mess up, and it's still just it affects everything.
Yep, they're off by like one number or something like that. So he does the text and feels everything going wonky, and he's like, "Did we win?" It's like, nope.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I actually really did like this anime. I thought it'd be okay. But if I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it like a 9. I think I'd give
Okay,
it
so
a
you're
9.
pretty high up.
Yeah, I really did like it. And for me to like enjoy, like to binge watch an episode, a series like this, I thought it was just well put together. Like I said, I really like the aspect of every character. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. All 8 members of their, um, all 8 of them had a huge difference in this show. It wasn't just about Okabe and his failures and what he could change and him being a mad scientist. Every single one of them had something to put on the table. So I thought that was really cool. And they wrapped up everybody's story, in a sense. Other than the girl that's a boy and a girl. They didn't really like say what she is at the end.
Oh, and she went back to being a boy.
I know, but
But
like
yeah, that was definitely weird.
they could have had something way different. I feel like they just threw that in, but I mean, I guess you gotta have a little. I feel like every character was quite different. You have the girl that socially has that socially awkwardness, that phobia where she literally just can't talk to people. But then she becomes an assassin.
Yeah.
So
that was a drastic jump.
Yeah, it's just like she can't talk to people, she can't see people, she hides in a corner and she texts people even when they're in the same room. But let's just go out and murder people just because someone gave you attention. But other than that, I really don't have, other than it being confusing for the very beginning. That's where my drawback is. They don't, like, how much can you really explain? Time travel is always confusing.
Yeah, because everyone does it
know.
different. It's not like it exists to where there's a standard. It's something where everyone's just. It's one of those topics that you could throw whatever you want to explain it. Like, I combined an apple and a cucumber and I created time travel. Like, you could literally get away with doing whatever.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of the same aspect of like when Dragon Ball, the Future Saga, when every time they did something, a new ring would pop up. That made me, like a new timeline appeared. Now they fixed all the timelines, so did it go back to just one? But they made you feel like there was 20 different versions of these characters that had to go through different things because of what they did. And then just the main timeline kind of goes back, but it doesn't get rid of the old timeline. That's where I was a little good. That's where time travel is confusing. But they kind of remind me of Dragon Ball when, every time Trunks goes to the future and the past, he creates that new time ring and kind of screws with things. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. But what would you rate it?
So I'm not as high. I would probably drop it down to a 7, but a lot of that is also because of my own personal, like, it's not really my genre. It's not something that I really like. So I'm willing to call this like an 8.5 if you want. You called it a 9. I'll go up to an 8.5 because, in all honesty, like you said, I am not big on time travel. It's not really something that I enjoy watching. So I don't want mine to have like a lot of stock in it. Just like when we did Cowboy Bebop. I like older animes. You didn't. You gave it like really low. We went with a little bit higher because it wasn't your style. I'm agreeing to do the same thing here because if it was up to me, it'd be a 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
and it's mostly because of the time travel.
If you don't want to go off of Rotten Tomatoes, Rotten Tomatoes has it as 100%, and the audience score is 96%. So
yeah, see, then that's where it comes down to. Like I said, it's not really my genre.
Like.
It's what.
Yeah, and we watched it all in dub. I don't know if watching it in sub sometimes that makes difference to animes. I don't feel like it would be for this anime, but yeah.
For all you dub haters, we do it because we run a podcast and we have to binge stuff in a week, and we have families. So when we can binge something in dub, it makes it a little bit easier to get through it in a week where we work, have families, and Tyler has softball and all sorts of crap. I have stuff that I do on the side as well. So
yeah, so I might be listening to a lot or watching a lot more anime here. I I got a lot of pain. I got like some hernia thing going on, and it's kicking my ass right now. So
Well, hopefully you'll get over it soon. Don't you have softball tonight?
yeah, I'm gonna try, and that might be the factor of me going into the doctor.
Well, good luck with that. And to everybody, hit us up at our email, whatintheanime.podcast@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter. And I'm going to start trying to get more content going to Instagram as well. So
Yeah,
look for us.
well, and the one thing we didn't mention is we're part of the Geek Talk Network. We slipped through that the entire episode, so at least you get it here at the end. So
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned Zach and John, so it counts,
just
right?
a little bit. Yeah,
It counts.
they don't need too much love into our show, right? But there is the thought of bringing Zach in a little bit more. He seems like he's more flexible on his time than kind of John is a little bit, and plus Zach listens to more anime. There is times where he's actually just gonna kind of come in and either during our 3v3 battles or like we want to do Jeopardy style stuff or different anime quizzes, stuff that can interact while you're listening or driving, and you can kind of be trying to guess what does. So it's not just us talking. So we're gonna try to get him in here a little bit. But yeah, like Geek Talk Network, that's with Movie Night and the Boys.
Yep.
Take a listen there. But that's all I got.
Peace out, everybody.
Later.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at What in the Anime, and our TikTok and Instagram at whatintheanime.podcast.